Der Weltraum. Unendliche Weiten. Wir befinden uns in einer fernen Zukunft. Dies sind die Abenteuer des neuen Raumschiffs Dawn, das viele Lichtjahre von zu Hause entfernt ist, um fremde Welten zu entdecken, unbekannte Lebensformen und neue Zivilisationen. Die Dawn dringt dabei in Galaxien vor, die noch nie ein Jem'Hadar zuvor gesehen hat.
The research teams in the Iconianische system require your assistance. They have been running thousands of temporal incursion simulations of how to use the Krenim weapon. But I need an officer with field experience to evaluate the project and its feasibility. You will participate in a focus test of the most promising options. A blade cuts both ways. We must be sure that what this weapon can do to the Iconians does not cause greater harm to us.
Und so beginnt es, die Quest Schmetterling. Dazu heiße ich euch herzlich willkommen und ja, wir bekommen natürlich wieder so ein bisschen Krimskrams und so Zeugs und akzeptieren. Ja, der War continues und beginnen auch direkt wieder hier. Okay, wir müssen nirgendwo hin, das ist gut. Ja, aber ich muss auf jeden Fall irgendwo hin. Erstmal Pipi und in mein Inventar. Um da wieder schön aufzuräumen, also sage ich mal wieder, bis gleich sofort. Und da bin ich auch schon wieder und ja, wir fackeln nicht lange und starten rein in den guten Schmetterling.
Welcome! We have been working with the Krenim to build both this facility and a weapon similar to the one developed by Anorax in the 22nd century. Captain Nog is running point for the Alliance, but teams from all across the Alpha and Beta quadrants are involved with the research. It's fascinating work, but there's a lot to do yet.
Ja, dann erzähl mal, wie kann ich helfen?
Captain Nog might be able to explain more. He's waiting for you.
Alles klar. Gut, Sie wiederzusehen, Adrana. Wie geht es Ihnen? Ja.
It's good to see you too. For a few weeks, I was helping the Alliance research new ways to deactivate Iconian gateways. We were making progress, but it wasn't fast enough to stop the advance of the Heralds. After Captain Nog made contact with the Krenim, I asked to transfer here. Now I'm working with interdimensional resonance harmonics to help recreate Anorax's work.
Okay. Haben Sie besser geschlafen? Nach der Unterhaltung. Komische Frage, aber okay, haben Sie besser geschlafen?
Yes, I have. I guess the Solanae aren't visiting me at night anymore. Or maybe it's the 14-hour days trying to wrap my brain around complex temporal equations that are wearing me out. Either way, my sleep is greatly improved. Thank you for asking.
Ja, gerne. Es ist schön, Sie wiederzusehen. Ja. Ich kann nur hoffen, dass das kein großer Fehler ist. Als das Öffnen des Portals auf Neuromulus. Ja, okay. Gute Frage.
Welcome. We have been working with the Krenim to build both this facility. Captain Nog might be able to explain more.
Ja, gehen Sie voran. Na dann. Folgen wir der jungen Dame. Aha. Sie läuft jetzt dahin, um mir zu sagen, dass er dort steht. Habe ich recht? Ach so. Sie hat mich einfach nur blind hierher gebracht. Okay. Na gut, Nog?
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances. We've managed to make a prototype of the Krenim weapon in Anorax's records, but we have not attempted to use it yet. Time isn't something you mess around with, so we have been conducting simulations here of possible incursions, as well as developing new ways to protect and store data on various timelines.
Okay. Damit geht's weiter, deswegen erstmal die anderen. Oh. Wir haben viel zu fragen. Können Sie mir den Prozess erklären? Wie unterscheidet sich dieser Prozess von einer Reise in die Vergangenheit, in der durch eine Veränderung eine alternative Zeitlinie geschaffen wird?
When we talk about time alteration, we're specifically referring to the Krenim weapon's ability to remove something from time. Anything, from a single molecule to an entire civilization. It's as if the target of the weapon never existed at all.
Okay, also verändert die Waffe nicht nur etwas, sondern löscht es vollständig.
Correct. The changes ripple out from the incursion point and result in a new reality where the target no longer exists. This does mean that the ship must be able to fire on a target. The details are a bit more complex, of course, but that's the main difference from conventional time travel.
Ja. Ja, aber so ein großer Unterschied ist das nicht. Es wäre dasselbe, wie wenn ich zurück in die Vergangenheit reise und die Mutter von Captain Picard töte und es damit keinen Picard gibt. Dann ist er ja auch quasi aus der Existenz gelöscht. Das kommt aufs selbe raus. Und damit hat niemand ein Problem?
Temporal agents from all three factions are watching everything we do carefully. That's one of the reasons we're running holodeck simulations first. Between you and me, I'm glad they're here. The Krenim are a little too eager to use the weapon. Time manipulation is a very delicate operation under the best of circumstances. We can't just start shooting things out of existence and hoping it all works out for the best.
Ja, eigentlich kannst du gar nichts löschen, weil du nicht weißt, was hinten raus dann passiert, wenn irgendwas nicht im Weg steht. Ich stimme zu, Captain. Denke ich.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances.
Ja.
We've managed to
Können
make a
wir nicht
prototype
einfach
of
die
Krenim weapon
Iconianer
and
aus dem
records,
Zeitfluss
but we have not
entfernen?
attempted to use it yet.
Nee, das wäre
Time
nicht
isn't
gut.
something you mess around. That was the first simulation we tried. The results were fairly catastrophic.
Katastrophal?
Without the Iconians, the first development of warp technology by other cultures in the Alpha Quadrant is severely delayed by about 50,000 years. Removing the Iconians would change everything we know.
Ja, das ist verständlich. Wir würden dennoch Warp-Technologie entwickeln, oder nicht? Es scheint unumgänglich.
Let me put it this way. In one version, the Day Ones eventually rise to power and conquer most of the Beta Quadrant. They are forced back by the Vulcans, who never embrace logic, and later enslave much of what is now Federation and Klingon space.
Ha. Ja, das wäre eher unerfreulich.
I'm not done yet. The Herc never developed warp technology at all, so they never invade Kronos and unite the Klingons as a warrior culture. When the Vulcan Star Empire finds the Klingons in the 22nd century, they were mostly farmers who had made some advances in epic poetry. By the present day in this simulation, the Vulcan Star Empire is locked in a to-the-death struggle with the Dominion.
Okay, ich verstehe. Die Iconianer direkt zu entfernen ist eine schlechte Idee. Wie ich mir das schon dachte.
I wish I was seeing you under better
Ja.
circumstances. We've managed to make
Sheila
a prototype
sagte
of the Krenim weapon and
etwas
Anoraxis
über
records.
Iconianer
We
und
have not
Zeitreisen.
attempted
Ist das
to use it
wichtig?
yet.
Ach so, dass
Time
die
isn't
die nicht
something you mess
wahrnehmen
around
können.
with. So we have been that the Iconians can't time travel because it unravels their minds. She was being dramatic, but she was essentially correct. When most humanoids time travel, they retain the memories of their timeline of origin. So you realize when things have changed. Iconians are at least partially energy beings. You saw that when Matara was able to use her own power to open gateways. And their brain structure is very different from other humanoids. As far as we understand, if an Iconian traveled back in time, their mind and memories would reshape to fit that time. So they would retain no memories of the present. They don't use time travel because it would literally be taking a step backwards.
Klar. Jetzt verstehe ich, danke. Na, das dachte ich mir vorher schon.
I wish I was seeing you under better
Ja, was haben wir noch?
We've managed
Sie
to make a
sprechen
prototype
von
of the Krenim
Wegen
weapon
zum
and Anoraxis
Erhalt von
records,
Daten.
but we have once we make an incursion, anything not protected by a temporal shield will conform to the new timeline. That includes all of us once this mission is over. We won't remember the Iconians, the war, or anything that changes in the new timeline. Clouda has been leading the work to create a shielded computer core to hold all the data we currently have. A time capsule, I guess you'd call it.
Okay. Muss der Kern auf ewig geschützt werden?
Correct. This isn't the sort of sacrifice we'd expect any personnel involved in the incursion to make. So we've built a computer to retain the information for us. We'll know what happened before, even though it essentially will have happened to someone else.
Okay. Verstehe.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances.
Haben Sie eine Vorstellung davon, wann ein temporaler Eingriff vorgenommen werden muss?
We've tried a different number of scenarios, but only in the holodeck. Direct action against the Iconians is proving to be problematic, because so much time has passed since they were first a great power. Incursions that far back in time must be carefully planned, or the fallout of even minor changes can ripple across reality. We have, however, seen some promise in trying to delay their arrival.
Aha. Aber damit würden wir das Unvermeidliche nur um ein paar Jahre hinauszögern.
Actually, it would be closer to a 700-year delay if our calculations are correct. The Iconians have had 200,000 years to build their fleets, but we're catching up to them. We've already seen what the 29th century technology can do. Imagine what we'll have in the 32nd century.
Okay. Also werden wir eher auf Augenhöhe sein.
Exactly. The other potential solution is to cut into the current power base. What if the Iconians never allied with the Alachi or the Solane? We wouldn't be facing the trouble we do now.
Wie sehen Ihre besten Szenarien aus?
The three most promising incursions each follow one of these tactics. My teams have been running simulations and refining their targets, but I'd like you to assist them using a special quantum recursive algorithm. Our simulators can run the outcome of a possible incursion on the holodeck. Interacting with that simulation will give us more data than just crunching the numbers. We need to really interact with it to see what reality would look like, and for that, I need someone like you with field experience.
Na klar, na klar. Ich muss alle testen bestimmt, hä? Ich bin mir nicht sicher, was temporale Eingriffe angeht, aber Simulationen können nicht schaden. Es klingt wie eine faszinierende Erfahrung. Ich bin zu allem bereit, um diesen Krieg zu gewinnen. Nee. Faszinierende... Ja, ich bin nicht sicher, was die temporalen Eingriffe angeht, aber die Simulationen sind an sich nicht verkehrt. Temporale Eingriffe sind halt immer Kacke. Und du? Aha. Veränderung der Alpha-Untersuchung. Mit Soffen, dem Leiter des Alpha-Teams, sprechen. Na klar. Hi.
Hello. Please allow me to explain what we're doing here. We've determined that if we remove a specific series of stars from the Beta Quadrant in the distant past, a rogue planet will enter the Iconia system and cause massive geological damage at about the same time the planet was bombarded by the Iconians' enemies. The technological buildup of the orbital bombardment that destroyed the Iconian civilization will still happen, but the Iconians themselves will have to deal with a natural disaster, not a war.
Und Sie glauben, dass das besser ist als ein Krieg?
Maybe the survivors of a natural disaster, if there are any, won't be so vengeful, and none of the stars we will remove have planets with the possibility of developing life. The overall effect on the galaxy is minimal. It's a painful path, but it could be the one that leads to peace.
Okay. Ich weiß nicht, ob mir die Vorstellung, ganze Sterne zu entfernen, gefällt. Die scheint ziemlich extrem, finden Sie nicht? Wenn das funktioniert, wird es die Gefallenen dennoch nicht rächen. Ja, ich weiß nicht, ob mir die Vorstellung ganzen Sterne... Ein bisschen extrem.
The number of stars we will have to remove is a concern, which is why we're trying this in a simulation first. But as Captain Nog said, these simulations aren't perfect, so we have devised a holodeck program that will expand and extrapolate on possible effects of the temporal incursion.
Sie vertrauen stark auf das Holodeck.
It's the best option we have available to us. The holodeck's algorithms have been updated to change and adapt to the data created by the simulated timeline alteration. This is not your average holo novel.
Ja, aber trotzdem ist es eine Technik, die etwas berechnet, was eigentlich nicht wirklich berechenbar ist. Also Fehler sind da auch mit ja, sollte man mit bedenken. Dieses Holo-Programm wird auch nicht alles richtig bedenken können. Nun gut, was soll ich tun?
Once we run the program, you'll be able to interact with our best approximation of the new timeline. Interaction with the holodeck components will allow the program to generate a more in-depth solution and give us a better idea of what to expect. We have set this simulation on a Federation starship patrolling the Sol system, and you are the captain. If all goes as planned, we expect that almost everything in the system should be close to current reality.
Na, okay, verstanden. Ich werde das Programm starten. Gut, wo? Da oben. Holodeck-Simulation Alpha. Okay. Start. Sieht hier alles nicht so gut aus. Kann ich dich heilen? Oh ne, du bist ja Heiler. Das ist schwer, dich zu heilen. Ja, okay. Wer bist du?
Captain, you're alive. We repelled the intruders on the bridge, but the ship has taken heavy damage, and a lot of the crew are injured.
Wie ist die Lage?
Sir, I'm not sure this is the time. So many people are hurt, and most of the systems are offline. The life support is on backups, and our resources are down to nothing, and...
Ich helfe den Verwundeten, aber Sie müssen mir helfen. Was ist geschehen?
The Dominion stopped firing at us when we lost weapons. Now they're focusing on Earth's defense grid, but it's only a matter of time before they return to finish us off.
Okay. Wir werden die Besatzung neu formieren und uns zur Wehr setzen. Es ist noch nicht vorbei. Okay.
Sir, I tried to fight them off, but the boarding parties, the Gemini are. We have to stop the Dominion. They can't take Earth too.
Keine Sorge, wir werden sie aufhalten. Den haben wir noch. Du springst da ein bisschen an den Wänden hoch, das ist nett.
We can't stop them. Maybe if we hadn't been at war with the Romulans. Maybe if the Klingons hadn't ripped themselves apart. I'll be fine, Captain. Just rattled.
Begeben Sie sich, wenn nötig, zur Krankenstation. Also ich würde sagen, die Simulation läuft schon mal nicht so gut, wenn ich das so höre.
I never expected they would get so far into our defenses. I'm sorry, Captain. I just need a moment. Then I'll be ready to fight.
Wann immer Sie bereit sind.
Incoming hail!
Ja, dann. Antworten auf den Ruf. Ach, da.
USS Ajax. Sensors show your ship is completely defenseless, and I would prefer not to delay our arrival at Earth to deal with such a minor annoyance. Surrender now, and I will guarantee the safety of your crew.
Aha, wir werden uns nie ergeben. Daten von der Simulationskonsole beschaffen, okay. Wo? Da? Nein, nicht hinsetzen. Warnung, Höhenbrüche auf den Decks 4, 5 und 6. Notfallkraftfelder aktiv. Höhenintegrität bei 22,8%. Waffen ausgefallen, Schilde ausgefallen. Lebenserhaltung, Notenergie aktiviert. Okay, Verlustbericht des Quadranten. Alle Daten. Verlustbericht des Quadranten. Beta-Set. Status erobert. Schätze Verluste 3 Milliarden. Teller Prime. Status erobert. Geschätzte Verluste 2,5 Milliarden. Vulkan. Status unbewohnbar. Geschätzte Verluste 9,4 Milliarden. Ja. Persönliches Logbuch des Captains. Sternzeit 87319,0. Wir haben seit 3 Tagen keine Spur der Hauptstreitmacht des Feindes entdecken können. Doch wir werden weiterhin von ihren Speeren bedrängt. Vulkan ist verloren. Andoria brennt. Romulus, Teller Prime, Betaset, Trill wurden eingeäschert. Vielleicht wäre es anders ausgegangen, wenn die Romulaner sich uns angeschlossen hätten. Die Klingonen hätten kaum genügend Schiffe übrig, um ihr Heimatsystem zu sichern. Sie waren keine Gefahr mehr. Wir boten unsere Freundschaft an, doch die Romulaner lehnten ab. Und dann kam das Dominion und eroberte alles. Ja, lief nicht gut. Nach iconianischen Aktivitäten scannen. Langstreckensensoren ausgefallen. Keine iconianische Aktivität in unmittelbarer Umgebung. Ja, die sind erledigt, aber dafür haben wir ganz viele multiple Kurse-Probleme. Alle Daten runterladen. Okay. Programm beenden. Ja. Also ich sag's mal so. Programm Alpha ist es nicht. So ganz und gar nicht. Oh, ich kann ja mit noch jemandem reden. Moment. Würde ich mal ganz kurz tun. Wer bist denn du? Zeitagent. Philip Cray.
Hello.
Hi. Wer sind Sie?
Well, where do I start? I'm 157 years old. That's only because I spent 90 years caught in a
Das
temporal
hatten wir doch schon
distortion.
mal.
Hello.
Hier um die Zeitlinien zu schützen. Verletzte mit den... Auf Wiedersehen. Ja, das kennen wir schon. Gut, ja, dann, hier, ne?
Sorry, we were watching from the control room, and that could have gone better. Even with all that, the simulation data on whether the Iconians were entirely eliminated from that timeline is inconclusive. We were able to record your interactions, and we've been able to piece together what happened from those.
Was haben Sie entdeckt?
From what we can piece together, the Klingon Empire was never unified by its conflicts against outsiders, and the Great Houses turned on one another instead. The Romulans took the chaos as an opportunity to attack. The Federation stepped in to help the Klingons, and the war between the 3 factions basically ripped the quadrant apart. The Dominion then conquered all 3 weakened powers.
Ha. Dies ist keine Lösung.
Agreed. My team will continue working on other possible incursion scenarios.
Vielleicht können wir ihre Machtbasis schwächen. Okay, mit wem soll ich reden? Da. Wen haben wir denn hier? Wie heißt er? Noyer.
Another one of you Voyagers. I don't know how you can help, but very well. My team is working on scenarios that reduce the Iconian power base. We're attempting to do so by fixing a mistake that Janeway allowed to happen decades ago. We're going to stop the Vaadwaur from being rediscovered. We plan to do this by preventing Voyager from ever coming into contact with underspace. This will prevent them from finding Vaadwaur Prime, and 7 of 9 will never wake the Vaadwaur.
Okay. Und ich vermute, dass es den Krenim ebenfalls helfen wird, die Vaadwaur in Stasis zu halten, okay? Ich weiß nicht, was Sie mit Voyager meinen. Ich habe nie auf diesem Schiff gedient. Hat sich für ihn schon Zeit verändert? Wahrscheinlich schon öfter. Ja, aber, ja, naja gut, passiv habe ich da schon mal gedient. Wir waren schon da. Ich vermute, dass es den Krenim ebenfalls helfen würde, die Vaadwaur in Stasis zu halten.
None of us are going to survive if we don't try to repair the damage you've already done. The goal is to cause a solar flare that will force Voyager to divert from the course it was on when it stumbled into underspace. If it safely passes without entering underspace, it can continue on its trip home and bypass the Vaadwaur entirely.
Ich vermute, dass dies funktionieren könnte.
The simulation is set for the USS Voyager, which is fitting since they caused the problem in the first place. Our projections show that even if the Vaadwaur never return, your people will still find a reason to stick your noses into our business. So, we're attempting to see how the elimination of the Vaadwaur will change the formation of the Delta Alliance. You will be a member of the diplomatic team.
Ich werde das Programm starten. Okay, dann versuchen wir mal diesen Weg. Forscher Claude sprechen, okay.
Don't mind Noi. I think he partially blames people from your quadrant for some of the Krennin's troubles. After all, if Voyager hadn't restored the Vaadwaur, they would have never been in a position to ally with the Iconians. But there is no reason to dwell on past hurts. We're trying to fix what we can here, and then learn to accept the rest. Noi funnels that passion to help his people into his work. Perhaps it will change everything.
Wir werden alle zusammenarbeiten müssen, um die Iconianer zu besiegen. Ich bin sicher, dass wir eine gemeinsame Basis finden werden. Danke für Ihre Ehrlichkeit. Ja, ich bin sicher, dass wir eine gemeinsame Basis finden werden.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both Captain Nog and Seven speak highly of you.
Das ist schön. Entschuldigen Sie mich, jedoch bin ich nicht sicher, jemals einem Vertreter Ihrer Spezies begegnet zu sein. Okay, was tun Sie hier? Scheint uns nicht sonderlich zu mögen. Auf Wiedersehen. Okay, entschuldigen Sie mich. Jedoch bin ich... Wieso entschuldigen Sie mich? Einfach nur entschuldigen Sie. Entschuldigen Sie mich klingt wie, ich muss los. Jedoch bin ich nicht sicher, jemals einem Vertreter Ihrer Spezies begegnet zu sein.
My name is Claudia, and I am a Tutarian. We're from a region of the Delta Quadrant Voyager never visited, so we haven't had much contact with species from the Alpha and Beta quadrants until now. However, my world has had close ties with the Krenim for several years. Now that they are actively pursuing temporal technology, I chose to join them and lend whatever assistance I can. I miss my home, but I've made a new one here. Meeting Noi has opened me up to a world beyond my own.
Ja, verstehe.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Was tun Sie hier?
Both Captain... I was on Kiana Prime with Noi when we received word of the Vaadwaur attacks. We had only hours to get the temporal equipment running and remove the population from the time stream. Since then, the focus of my work has been developing more stable data storage. We can see into other timelines, but we need a way to secure the data through temporal shifts so we can preserve information about incursions and their effects. In the case of a catastrophic shift, that data could be used as a map to restore the timeline.
Interessant.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both Captain
Noi
Nog and
scheint
Seven
uns nicht
speak
sonderlich
highly
zu
of you.
mögen.
Don't mind Noi. I think he partially blames people from your quadrant for some of the Krennin's trouble.
Ach so,
It is
das
a
ist das
pleasure to
nochmal.
meet you.
Ja,
Both
dann ciao. So, jetzt die nächste. Simulation Beta. Jawohl. Schauen wir mal, wie die läuft.
PlayStation